Yu-Gi-Oh! The trading card game has changed so much over the years. In fact, I remember when I first started playing back in what must have been early 2015 when I was 6 years old. My brother one day came home with a box of bulk and gave me my first ever card, a very, very beaten up copy of Achacha Archer, and I just immediately fell in love with the game. In fact, fast forward 4 to 5 years, in year 6 of primary school, a couple friends and I started the very first Yu-Gi-Oh! Club in school. At this point, I was piloting a very interesting variation of DDD, my boss monster being the unsummonable at the time DDD Triple Doom King Purple Armageddon, my favourite card name of all time, by the way. In fact, I always lost to a very close friend of mine who unfortunately not particularly in contact with anymore, which is why I always have PTSD of playing against Cyber Dragon, specifically Cyber Dragon Infinity, which I'm pretty sure we can all remember to being a fairly toxic card back in the day. Fast forward once again to the summer of 2019. My brother graciously put together a deck for me. By no means was it a good deck, and by no means would I win a game for more than 2 in a row for the next 4 years, but it was mine. A gimmick puppet deck, with the number 88 gimmick puppet of Leo as its boss monster. You know, the one with the weird countdown rule where if you have more than 3 counts on the card you win the duel? I thought that was pretty busted. It's not. Over and after lockdown, I sort of stopped playing the game. I didn't particularly have any drive to play the game, considering whenever I tried to play Master Duel, I would get utterly annihilated by the Tillerman's deck. We've all been there. It was safe to say I just didn't enjoy playing the game anymore. This, however, all changed when I found the channel Team Samurai X1. Their unboxing content, mixed with their interesting deck lists, made me more interested in the game. Yes, I copied their Trap Chicks deck list for my first ever locals, and yes, it was the night before, and yes, I did go 0 to 5, but up until this point, I had never enjoyed a game of Yu-Gi-Oh! More than that. However, despite Konami's somewhat interesting game ideas, I think the worst decision they've actually ever made has unfortunately got to be the new card art. Don't get me wrong, I think it's very interesting and kind of refreshing, but some of them are just ridiculous. But here's the trouble. They add all these fancy art styles, slap all this shiny foil over it and call it readable. Not to mention people think they look cool, but in my opinion, they just look downright ugly. I mean, just look at the Dark Magician Secret Rare Overframe. It just looks completely overstimulating. So much foil and art that it just looks like glitter slapped on cardboard. Not to mention some of them are ridiculously priced. The Dark Magician one alone is over £200 ungraded. And I get they're supposed to be collector's items, but with £200 you can buy the Japanese Rainbow Dragon Ghost Rare for half the price. And it's the best Ghost Rare. Of course, everyone has different opinions when it comes to this type of thing, and I respect everyone's equally. But despite that, I think we can all agree that the worst decision Konami has ever made was creating pendulum monsters. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, or I will assume you play Pendulum, or a big greedy bitch who is unsatisfied with only summoning one monster from your hand at a time, and enjoy abusing the most absurd summoning mechanic in Yu-Gi-Oh! History. Anyway, thanks for watching, I'm Rather Strange, and I'll see you in the next one.